type of vibe and everything that's kind of created because I'm not posting, hey, I'm at this restaurant, hey, I'm at this club, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm there. Like,
Yeah.
it's usually telling people to have a prosperous day.
Yeah.
It's me working out, and it's my art.
Mm-hmm.
You might see other small aspects of my life, like I said, but for the most part, that's like the message I want to put out to people daily. And like, I hope my following is doing something similar because eventually I had realized like a lot of people were hitting me up and being like, yo, you inspire me or you motivate me or whatever. And I was
Yeah.
like, it was like the fucking Spider-Man Uncle Ben like situation where I was like, oh shit, like I'm really doing something. Like
Yeah.
with great power comes great responsibility. And like,
Yeah.
I can't just be on here like, yo, this guy sucks because blah, blah. And then I change other people's perceptions of someone based off my own feelings. Like, that's not fair to someone else. Or
Right.
if I'm putting more hate out into the world, then my followers are going to repeat that same thing. So
Right.
what I put out is like what I'm hoping other people reflect at this point in time.
Trying to be the change that you want to see in the world, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
And I think that's how you're going to find your audience for real. Like the same thing you said, like you're here for people. And because of that, those people are going to find you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We definitely have to continue to attract that, and I'm glad this platform exists because it's literally a manifestation of us attracting that. Like this moment right now, so much has been leading up to it, and there's so many more moments that are to come, and I am eternally grateful. And you said something about you inspiring others, man. You inspired me. Like I remember, like one time
Thank
I was
you,
in a
bro.
rut, bro. I ain't do nothing, bro. I was getting fat. I got,
Oh, yeah, you had hit me
yeah.
up. I remember that shit.
I was getting fat, bro. I still got a little lean gut, even though I don't sip lean. But listen, man, like I saw your mile time, and you was like, you said something like, everybody just go make the attempt to run. And I
Yeah.
swiped up. I'm like, you know what, man, you're right. Let me get my fat self up and go take a jog. And I think that I did one of my best miles I've ever done, like that night, bro. And I'm like, bro, it's so easy for me to decide. You know what? Let me do what I say I want to do. Let me actually be who I say I want me to be. Like we always think of our ideal self as a completely different person, even though we have a lot of resources to become them currently. And there is no like become them. Like it's just you.
Essentially, yeah.
It's more about what you decide to do with your time. And if what you do with your time reflects that vision that you have for yourself, you have to step into it. It's not going to come to you. And if being happy and being like the ideal version of yourself was easy, everyone would be happy. Nobody would be depressed. Everybody would be extremely fortunate. But that's not the case because I don't know, we have a way of falling into these traps and these pitfalls and things that want to suck away our dopamine and make us come to them for that. But you helped me realize that I can supply my own by achieving something for myself. And it can be as simple as taking a jog. If you ain't got the stamina to jog, go take a walk, man. And just appreciate the silence, the beautiful, beautiful silence of the present moment, because you need it. You know, like there's so
Facts.
much noise constantly. There's so much noise. And to give yourself the privilege of silence is something that I want more people to do, especially myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I fell into meditation, like I said to you earlier, like the still meditation. Because I was running and for me, like car rides, like I found things that would put me into a meditative state. But being still and in a silent, honestly, even now when I have like sound going on in the background, I think it's kind of cool because my mind will recognize it. Like I'll be in the middle of a thought, like you were saying, like you're kind of observing your thoughts. And I'll hear something outside. I'm like, damn, someone's got an accident. But then I'll still think like,
Yeah, like back to what I was
yeah,
doing.
back to what I was doing. Like I'll even see it though. I'll be like, yo, you lost your train of thought and you came back to it. Like that was kind of dope.
Yeah.
Like being an observer and still and silent, I think that's what allows you to do it. I think when you're in motion or there's too much outside noise, your
Yeah.
brain is too focused. It's like instinctual. Like
You can't observe yourself
yeah,
anymore.
exactly. And then I think doing that, bro, it's really what will change a lot of people's lives. Like I think physical fitness and like the other side of it, stillness, are two things that people need to learn how to do because I feel like people practice one or the other, but not both.
Right.
And I think we're starting to get to the point where, like you said, there's so many distractions out there. If you take time to dive into your own brain, bro, like all the answers are within us. So you just kind of,
Got to give yourself the time
yeah,
to
wait for your
actually
answer to come
look.
to you.
But also give the space for the thought to breathe. Like I can't like have a deep thought and be like, dang, I'm aware that I do this sometimes. Why do I be doing this? Oh, hold up. Shorty just liked my post? Hold up. Who this is? You feel me? Like we gotta focus on like those threads of further understanding ourselves or our cycles or those habits. Because once you understand your cycles, man, like you can break them. Like awareness is the first step. And I am one of the most self-aware people on the planet, but there's still layers to it. And sometimes there's things that I'm not aware of. And it's like an onion, no Shrek. Not a
I
Shrek
was about to
reference.
say, he better go check on this shit.
But it's like we constantly gotta like unpeel these layers to ourselves and like get closer and closer to the core of self understanding. Like I had to realize from my friends the other day that sometimes I'm a poor communicator. And sometimes like I take things super personally or I overthink myself into like a worst case scenario and I prepare myself for that worst case scenario and everyone's like, damn, is Jen okay? I'm worried about that dude. And it's like man, like
You're destroying your subconscious, bro. That's
literally
the best way to put it. You're literally destroying your subconscious thinking
exactly.
by putting like I said, being a creative, you're creating false realities within your head of the things that are happening. But you have to learn to control that so that your false reality being created is just a positive mindset. That's something I work on too, bro. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm self-sabotage or destructive, but I think I would be a lot further in life if I didn't have that characteristic where it's like, oh, I could be doing more, I could be doing better, I could be doing this, and this.
Yeah. Like what can I
Saying
do
that I
now?
don't have it now and it's not within me or coming to me right now
Yeah.
is only pushing it away. So
Yeah.
it's something I'm like learning to kind of backtrack on.
Like watch how you speak about things.
And even your thoughts, bro. Like,
Yeah.
because it's just an automatic thought, like you said. So coming here today, if you were like, man, I know he's going to be late, you're essentially manifesting,
Yeah.
oh, he'll be late.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Or if you're like, oh, I don't know if this marker's going to work or the mic's going to work or this, then you're creating it. And why would you do that? Why would you not already just come with the mindset like, yo, this shit about to be dope as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really got a care in the world. Like, we're about to make some payment, we're about to talk, and it'd be a cool vibe. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely your mindset can definitely I feel like it's one of the biggest things as far as how your reality unfolds. And don't get me wrong, like circumstances happen that are completely out of your control and no amount of positive thinking can change that.
Valid.
But it boils down to what you're in control of. And what one of the most valuable things to be in control of is your own mind and your thoughts. And I feel like that's the point that you're really trying to get across because it's like if I already come into this thinking something negative or thinking like, dang, this might go this way, that might go this way. If I have that ability to do that and it having an influence on the actual effect, why not go in a more positive route? You know, because it's like I've had situations where like I'm stepping into this situation and I'm terrified that I'm going to make a mistake. Terrified. And it increased the likelihood of me doing so. And then I did. And then there was ramifications for that. And you feel me? Like
Then you're like, why did I just do that to myself?
why did I just do that to myself when I could have just been so much kinder and considerate to myself? Like you can be your own best friend or your own worst enemy.
Here's the thing, though, that I've learned is the worst part about it is this is something that it can be taught, but I think it gets taught to us later in life.
Yeah.
No one in school, our parents didn't really know. Like, we're kind of like the first wave of people that are really getting into, like, this style and this mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, like, all self-discovery still.
Yeah.
Which is the craziest part because, like, all of us are on this journey that we're, like, told all these things and we believe them for so long. And it's, like, so many of those are backwards, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that should be the first thing we learn in school is, like, yo, your brain is the most powerful thing you have. And with that brain, don't create bad situations and training ourselves not to create that because essentially we create a bad world for ourselves or other people
Right.
directly through our thoughts. Like, we're in our 20s right now,
Yeah.
and just now learning that is so crazy to me.
And I'm glad that we're learning it so soon because some people never learned that. And I be feeling so sad when I meet people with who are already like set in their ways and don't feel like they can grow in their perspective. Especially like talking to someone as young as me. They're like, "Oh, you're 20 something. You are an infant. Get the hell out of here. You don't know what you're talking about." And I'm like, "Damn, how close-minded of you."
Facts.
But like I love that our generation is becoming more in tune with our emotions because we can't just be part of the cycle of trauma and inflicting false realities on people and hurting people without realizing that we're doing it and accepting it as a fact of life. Like, oh, things are simply this way. Like, oh, I was inevitably gonna hurt this person. That's just how I am. That's just how I am. Why is that how you are? Can we? You should think about that.
Or do you want to change that about yourself? Like, don't just accept everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, getting into that flow it's definitely a journey, bro. And I feel like one of the things that have taught me a lot is that it was I forget who the philosopher was, but he was like, essentially some wars you'll fight over and or some battles you'll fight over and over to win the war.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about from like your mental state, like some lessons you have to continually learn over and over again, which
Yeah.
is like a shitty thing to do, but sometimes like that's what it takes to get to where you want to go. Like I feel like that's something even for me that really hit when I saw
Yeah.
that. I was like, damn, like this is
Yeah.
probably like my third or fourth time learning this shit in life, but like here we go again. At least I
Here
have
we
a
go again.
basis, you know?
Yeah.
Like exactly, bro. Always that keep going mindset.
Facts. It ain't over till it's over, man. It's like, especially like me dealing with things like grief. Like sometimes you gotta let go of things multiple times. You have to grieve that person multiple times. You have to let go of that multiple times. And like not even grieving simply in like the death of like a person, but like the death of a situation or the death of a relationship or the death of a circumstance because it's like we had an attachment to it, so for us to just like kind of just be like, oh, whatever, nothing bothers me and just try to move on, like we don't work like that. And we got to be aware that we don't, and like we think we do and we think we're fine, but like deep down inside we still holding on, and we got to let go again. But we also got to be aware of like the role that we play in situations. What was I in control of? What could I have done better? And not in like a self-deprecating way or an overly self-critical way, but like practically, like what was in their court, what was completely out of my control, and what was I contributing to the situation, positive or negative.
Facts. Nah, I mean honestly, bro, that was like the perfect summary in a sense of my collection. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's just kind of what I've been going through the past like 2 years, and for a while I was like, oh, I gotta speed it up and I gotta be healed by this time, and like, why is it taking so long? And then eventually I was just like, fuck it, bro. Like, however long it takes. Like, just be like, enjoy the process. If the pain makes beautiful art, it makes beautiful art, but don't like sit and get stuck in it. Like,
Right.
but there is no timeline, and it's different for everyone too. Like, I'll say like as mysterious or whatever as I am, or like the perceptions people have of me, like you kind of know it, but I have a big heart, bro. Like I care for people. Like that's also why I keep my distance from people. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to get too close to someone because it's like if you hurt me, bro, that shit really hurts, and like I don't
Yeah.
want that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So now it was like, all right, I'm moving through life in a new way while also grieving someone, while also doing art and business, while doing this and this and this. That so much of that time, like I said, was reflection. It was the things you said where you're like, you're kind of sitting there and you're realizing what you did, what they did, what's a part of you, what's not a part of you. And that takes time.
Yeah.
And accepting that takes time. And then healing from that takes time, because the big thing for me is I'd rather just heal and go about my life and be good rather than hold on to something and continually like carry it on. I think so many people bring pain into other people's lives because they never learned to heal their own.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, if I know that, why would I do that?
Yeah.
So I'm in just this process. Like, even this collection, bro, like, I thought about it the other day, and I was like, I wonder if feeling blues is, like, ever going to end, like, in a sense. Like, the definition of what this collection is to me, I wonder if this is always just kind of a part of me, which is cool because it is my art and it's a reflection. But at the same time, it just creates the question of like, who am I going to become as a person and as an artist if I consistently feel this way?
Right.
So now I'm just kind of, yeah, like you said, enjoying the process of it and learning the things that I need to learn. I finally feel like I'm at I think there's still some parts of me that like, you know, you never let go and you kind of have to heal.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel like I'm back in like my expansion form. Like
Nice.
I spent the first quarter of the year reflecting. The summer was like a healing, peaceful, self like balancing period in time. And since I've been back in Miami, I feel like I just been locked in, bro. Just doing everything, honestly. And I've just been changing my mindset and my habits and everything so much that now I'm just really excited for what's about to come ahead.
Whatever it may be.
We gonna find out. That's what I look at it.
And that's the beautiful part. And it kind of circles back to what we were talking about at the beginning. I don't know if the mic caught that part, but us being painters, and then the advice that we get the most is just keep painting. Just keep painting. And again, it's like just keep creating, just keep creating. But when does it make sense? But that's the thing. It's the journey that matters the most, not the destination, not the goals and aspiration you have for yourself, but that present moment, constantly being there for yourself and being present for every single piece of work that you make, because it's an extension of yourself. It's your brainchild. It is the most accurate representation of what you are working through at that moment as a spirit. As a spirit. And with every new piece comes new understanding, comes experimentation, comes experience. So right now, like I feel like that advice of just keep painting was probably the best advice that I could have gotten.
Okay.
Like just keep creating, you guys. And it's like it's gonna make sense over time once you decide, like, listen, I care about me and I'm building this relationship with me. And this is a huge part of it. And I'm going to see what I learn. I'm going to go into every experience and see what I learn. And it's like, how can you fail if you're constantly learning?
Yeah, one of my favorite like art-based quotes are essentially us as humans try to apply meaning to almost everything, but us as artists are supposed to apply meaning to nothing, allow other people's perception to essentially take form. And what we're doing is going about a process of our lives in the sense of, how did he put it? It was like in the sense of you never know, but people think you know.
Yeah.
Like we're on this journey of creating where Daniel Hersham, like we were talking about, who we look up to as, yo, he's making luxury products and it's so beautiful and all these things, versus who we are right now. You could go from doing that to him and you have no clue. Like
no clue.
learning just to be who you are at every moment of the process is just like the biggest thing. And I feel like that always sticks with me with making even this type of stuff. Like there's so many times where I'm like, let me do this or let me do that. Even when I told you earlier, I was like, oh, the mirror sounds dope. And like, that'd be super entertaining for people to see.
Yeah.
That's not what I was feeling today. So why would I do that? Like, I'd rather do the thing that I feel and that feels like it aligns with me, because that's what's going to make the most beautiful art at the end of the day. Like, I don't really always make the decisions. You kind of have to like trust your gut. And like I said, not always apply meaning to everything.
Yeah. Damn. That's beautiful, man. Just trusting your gut, and every time I don't trust my gut, I get a shocking reminder of why I should have. You cannot force these things to be. We can just only flow. We can just only attract, and we got to trust ourselves to make the right decision. And even if it doesn't work out, you learned. And I'm so glad.
Falling in love with the process, I think, is like the most cliche statement and like one of the hardest things to do, but it really is like the answer. Like even for me, like getting into it, I can't lie. Like at first I made some money off my art and I was like, yo, like I just want to do this and get rich. Like, you know, I made 12.5 on the first one, bro. Like I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
Now, like, I make pieces and I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, yeah, that could be worth that price, but I just want to make so much of it that I don't really even care so much about the price anymore. Like, for Art Basel, I was like, oh, I should make this price, and this price, and this price because, like, people are in town. Now I'm just like, I just want to sell it all, honestly. Like,
Right.
even if it's not at the price point I might want, like, at least someone owns it. At least now it empties space for me to create more. Like, I'm enjoying the process and, like, the artistry so much more than the commercial and, like, capitalistic side.
Yeah.
That's it's it's allowed me to find, like, a new perspective even on my own art. I'm like, I don't have to be so attached to doing this for a price point or whatever. It's just like, when it's done, it's done. I found my flow. I found what people like, and, like, it's just a fun process of just creating now. And I think, honestly, if I could pick anything that I would say for you when you were talking about, you know, finding yourself as an artist and who you are in the room and all that type of stuff, just continue to explore, like, who you are as an artist and allow yourself to reflect that, because who we are as people and who we are as artists are usually, our artistry is our truest self,
Yeah.
and who we are as a person is a shielded self. And I think the more you become obsessed with your art and the person it makes you, the more you're just going to become the person that you feel like you truly are inside. For real, for real.
Thank you.
Of course, bro. Like, I think that's going to help you a lot, because that was something that I had to learn too. Like, I was always going into places, even like I said, rebranding. Like, for me, it was like everyone saw me as a model or a TikToker.
Yeah.
So to get people to be like, yo, he's an artist, took me almost 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
there was still rooms I walked into within the last year, and they're like, oh, you're that TikToker. And I'm like, one more person calls me a TikToker, bro, I'm going to lose my mind. I was like, no, I'm an artist. And I would
Yeah.
show them my art, and then they'd be like, oh, respect, that's super cool. And it's like, getting to that point sooner and just, like, diving into it and not walking into it, I think you're going to find yourself so much quicker, bro, to be honest with you. And you're going to find a lot more peace a lot sooner, too.
Thank you. That's beautiful, man. I really needed to hear that, man. And I'm really going to reflect on the conversation we had today. And in a sense, I'm so overjoyed that the third take was the take that people actually got a chance to hear, because the conversation, it just felt so much more natural this time. And it's exactly what I needed it to be.
Hell yeah.
And also what the audience needed it to be. So I'm just eternally grateful for this conversation and your time and your wisdom. And I'm looking forward to what we can create together, man. So with that being said, thank you to Javon Clark. I'm so sorry. Thank you to Javon Clark. Thank you to Miami Community Radio. Thank you to Vault Creative Studios, my collective that we're going to be coming onto the scene in 2025. So keep an eye out for us.
Hey.
I can't wait to see what the future has in store for each and every single one of us. And I need you all to believe in yourself, be patient with yourself, be present with yourself, okay? Everything's going to be fine. But how can you fail if you're always being true to yourself? And I want you guys to let that be the main takeaway. So,
Amen.
MCR, Miami Community Radio, if you please could play the outro music produced by Vault Media, Vault Creative Studios, my good friend Game Boy Keem, fantastic producer and the CEO of our collective. We're just going to keep on creating, we're going to keep on doing our thing, and we're not going to ever think about stopping.
Amen. To the greatest ever.
It's one of the greatest ever, man. Thank you so much for your time, bro.
Yes,
if
sir.
your hand wasn't covered in paint, I'd dap you up right now.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much for having me. It was
For
dope.
sure.
Really good conversation. And yeah, follow me on Instagram at JVNTLRK.
Yes,
And
sir.
keep up with everything I'm doing.
It's all love, guys.
Appreciate it, bro.